How's everybody? Well, welcome to AlleyPalooza number 5. Go Rosedale. So thank you for joining me. I just commented to the director that I thought we might be in the biggest AlleyPalooza alley, and he assured me we have a lot of big ones to do. So we'll keep coming back for more AlleyPaloozas until we can knock them all off. Let me acknowledge and thank ANC Commissioner Sandra Phillips Gilbert for being here. Give Sandra a big round of applause, who worked so hard for this neighborhood. And Shander here from 6B, there's Shander, and Kathy Henderson from 5D. Give our ANC commissioners a big round of applause. And where's the young lady who requested this alley? Shannon, thank you. Give Shannon a big round of applause. So let me say a couple of things about AlleyPalooza, and we've been joined also by DC Water today. George Hawkins couldn't be with us, but he has assured me that Carlton Ray is going to do the job. So thank you for being here, Carlton. And of course, we are joined by our director for DDOT, Leif Dormshow. Give Leif a big round of applause. And is this our AlleyPalooza team? I want to give a big hand to our AlleyPalooza team. I know you're already tired of me of telling the story of AlleyPalooza, so I'm not going to go. Well, maybe I will. Leif and I were in a meeting one afternoon in the summer, and I asked Leif if we could have devise a sped up program for alleys with the remainder of the construction season. I think at that time it was probably July or August or maybe June. And Leif said, ooh. He would work with the team to come up with a plan, and AlleyPalooza was born. So the plan for AlleyPalooza is that DDOT identifies through their system 8 alleys in each ward, and a plan to get those alleys done in 8 weeks. So at the end of that 8 weeks, there should be 64 alleys complete. And so we have seen that happen now in 4 different AlleyPalooza initiatives in the last 2.5 years, and so we're going to start number 5 today. So you may know that in the State of the District, I talked about how we would continue to have a focus on our infrastructure, streets, streets, in our local roads, and we will have, with the budget that I submitted to the council, an intense focus on improving local road conditions. So those include the residential streets that are in, and admittedly, in poor condition. And our arterials and major roads are in significantly better condition. But it's going to take a commitment, funding, and the hard work of our DDOT teams and their expertise to get that work done. So let me now turn to Leif Dormshow. We'll tell you a little bit more about AlleyPalooza and how this time, for the first time in AlleyPalooza, DC Water will be involved, and I think they're also going to be a financial partner with us in including green alleys in our AlleyPalooza efforts. So, Leif, please come forward.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser. Good morning, everyone. Leif Dormshow, Director at the District Department of Transportation. Really excited to be here today. Just 2 weeks ago, Mayor Bowser kicked off Pothole Palooza with us. That's our 9th annual effort to eradicate potholes that are left on our streets from the freeze-thaw cycle during the winter. And I want to credit Brian Lawrence, who's the head of our street and bridge maintenance, for doing a great effort to knock down that backlog and keep our crews focused on quick response time to 311 requests for potholes. So this is kind of a twofer, potholes and alleys, and you should expect some announcements regarding our pavement operations coming soon. This is a great initiative. We really view infrastructure as a vitally important component to community development. That's why we're here. It's not the brick and mortar just in and of itself. We're making investments in people, community, neighborhoods, and our desire for a better quality of life. So we're really happy to have our stakeholders here who work with us across the board, not just on alleys and streets, but we're street lighting, park space, trees, a whole range of services that we're committed to providing our community partners. Mayor Bowser reminded us earlier of how important putting the budgetary resources of the District of Columbia to work on alleys, roads, and sidewalks. So we look forward to defending our budget proposal. I have my budget hearing next Monday, and we're going to be making a very compelling case around these types of assets because we really do feel that it's a terrific return on investment. And we've got a lot of work to do to move through the backlog of assets that have deteriorated. The DDOT team is really committed to this level of effort and the scrutiny. I mean, it's important to have these celebratory kickoffs around these events, but it's also important for us to be clear about what we're committing to doing because what gets measured gets done. And our team is working with me on a weekly basis to see how our productivity is stacking up against our plan. And we want that type of accountability. We want that type of transparency, and that's what the Bowser administration has been all about. And so to get to these kickoffs, we need a lot of help, not just from our engineers, but from our community engagement partners in the mayor's office. I don't think Tommy Jones is here, but the mayor's office of Community Relations and Services, they do a lot of the early investigative work for us. They work with the ANCs. They work with the different residents on potential sites, and we use the information that they gather from their meetings in the field to make sure that we do a proper assessment and think through what alleys are going to have the most bang for the buck. So it's not just about engineers and planners. We actually have to rely on the professionals in the mayor's office to help us understand how transformative a project like this can be for a neighborhood. So I really wanted to thank Tommy Jones for his work there. One new aspect about AlleyPalooza 5 is that we have DC Water as a partner. And if I could just for a moment talk about the genesis of that partnership, it really came from the mayor, actually. She may not remember this, but we had a cabinet meeting, and the meeting had adjourned, and I was with Director Tommy Wells from the Department of Energy and the Environment. And we were in the hallway, and the mayor walked by, and she saw the two of us huddling, and I had just reported on AlleyPalooza, and it was a very successful report, as all my reports are when I go to talk to the mayor. So that wasn't really uncommon. But I think Tommy was, although he's older than me, he was coming to me for advice on how to ensure success in his cabinet position. And so he was trying to get kind of my secret sauce about how I do things. And the mayor observed us in that consultative moment, and she said, "AlleyPalooza," and she had a broad smile on her face. And Tommy, he kind of, his emotions dipped a little bit there again. And the mayor looked at him, and she said, "Well, why not green alleys, Tommy?" And he perked up a little bit, okay? And then the mayor rushed off to another important meeting, and Tommy and I began to talk about that. So I kind of wanted to make sure Tommy wasn't continually in kind of a blue state of mind. And we talked about what it would take, and I will say that with Tommy's team, then bringing in DC Water, and I'll let Carlton Ray talk about this, we've figured out a way to make green alleys a component of this project. And you'll see some green alleys on our list in Wards 4, and also I think we have one in Ward 1. It has to do with the watershed. But coming up with a standard way to do this so we can do it quickly and we can move through some of the red tape. Tommy Wells is a real champion for the environment and his team being a little bit more creative in how they set up a permit with DC Water is the explanation for why we're able to include DC Water in this project. Carlton observed that we were getting a lot of alleys completed, and he was frankly scared that we would repair all the alleys in the city before he could get an opportunity to bring green infrastructure to a lot of the alleys. So there was kind of a race to catch up with us. He caught the train. He's not injured in any way. He's on board now, and we are really working, as I've said, as one team. DC Water, DOEE, and DDOT. We are one team trying to deliver for our citizens. And so with that, I'd like to invite Carlton Ray up here to talk about our partnership.
All right.
Thank you so much. Again, I'm Carlton Ray, Director of DC Clean Rivers Project for DC Water. DC Water is excited to be partnering with the district as one team, as Director Dormsjo referred to us, to build green alleys. And we also want to particularly thank the mayor. We appreciate your leadership in this innovative process. And if it hadn't been for the mayor and her direction to all of us, frankly, to work together, we wouldn't be here today. So through our partnership with DDOT and DOEE, DC Water will bring permeable pavement to 6 alleys in Wards 4 and in Ward 1, which will help reduce stormwater that goes into our combined sewer system. We have one pipe out in the middle of the street that conveys both sanitary sewage and combined sewage in the old combined sewer area, about a third of the district. And if we can reduce the amount of water that's going into the sewers, we can reduce the overflow of the sewage, the raw sewage that's going into the Potomac River and Rock Creek. We're building massive tunnels, as you well know, and that ultimately will reduce 98% of the sewage that's currently going into the Anacostia. The first part of that's coming online March 23rd of 2018. But this right now, we can go ahead and start bringing green infrastructure online as we speak, as we're building this, and start reducing the amount of sewage that's overflowing into Rock Creek and Potomac River, which we're very excited about. This is a classic example where if we're working together, we can reduce the amount of inconvenience to neighbors like yourselves and across our wonderful district, and also reduce costs. If we can, we can potentially save 10, 20, 30% of the cost by working together and piggybacking on different projects together. We look forward to serving with, and finally, I just want to mention that after we build the green infrastructure alleys, DC Water will be responsible for maintaining those and keeping those alleys cleaned in those particular areas.
Did you like that? We like that too.
So again, we're excited to be partnering with DDOT, and I do stress the camaraderie of working with both Director Dormsjo and Director Wells. It's been a wonderful partnership working on this project together. We're excited about that. We feel like this is a great model for future work together, and we're excited to continue this partnership. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlton. Okay, so we'll take a few questions, and then I think we'll look at the work that has started. Any questions? I'm going to take, Sandra, let me get to the press, and then I'll get to you. Is that okay? Okay, no press questions?
Topic questions,
yes.
Right?
No, whatever you have.
Okay, sure. One question I've got is about Jason Chaffetz. He's the council member or congressman that threatened to send you to jail.
A couple of times, yes.
And it's been announced that he is not going to seek re-election. What are your thoughts?
I think it's good for us and for the people of Utah.
Okay. Why?
Well, how should I say? We don't need anybody who wasn't elected here in Washington, D.C. Being the lawmaker for Washington, D.C. And so we are looking forward to as long as we exist as a district and not a state, we would look to partner with members of Congress in them seeking ways to help the district. And we especially like them to focus on the federal issues in the district that they do actually have responsibility for. And overturning our laws is not one of them.
Of course, he was sort of a catalyst for organizing the protest march on the Hill behind Rayburn and things like that. Why do you think, why do you think that congressmen become lightning rods for things like that?
Well, we just haven't had the type of encroachment on district affairs that we've seen, and I think there's just been people have felt emboldened by recent elections, and I think certainly this congressman was one such person.
I have another question.
Okay.
Okay. I'm also interested in the job fair. I understand, a huge job fair for city jobs at UDC today.
Okay, that sounds right.
We thought that the unemployment rate was improving, but it seems that I understand maybe 1,000 people showed up today.
The unemployment rate is improving, but if you've heard anything I've said, Sam, it is that we have to get more DC residents on the pathway to the middle class, and the only way to do that is with good paying jobs. We saw, for example, I'll give you one factoid, in Ward 8, when I first became mayor, the unemployment rate was over 16%. Now in Ward 8 is at 12%. So that's good news and bad news, right? It's less, but 12% is very high. In Ward 3, that's almost 4 times what it is in Ward 3. So we know we have a lot of residents who need access to good paying jobs. Since we're here with DC Water, early in my tenure, we partnered with them to focus on jobs and to focus on green jobs. So part of the way that we're cleaning up our rivers is on green infrastructure projects like the one we're talking about. And we know when we can have green infrastructure jobs like that, they're very labor intensive, and it puts DC government folks to work. So I think the Director Gibson would not like you to call it a job fair. What she likes to say is that it's a direct hire event. So people who are registered, who show up and will have the opportunity to interview with our agencies where we have job openings. And if there is a match, they could be hired on the spot. So it's a direct hire event.
My last question?
Yes.
So there is some question about where you were the last few days. I guess you went on vacation.
Yes.
Where were you, Mayor?
I was in Jamaica. Thank you for asking.
Did you have a good time?
I had a blast. And occasionally, the residents of the district afford me a few days off. And I take typically a time somewhere in the spring, which I went on spring break this year. I try to go when the council is also gone. And I usually go around my birthday.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Well, my birthday is in August, so I still have one more.
There's been an audit of Councilmember Brandon Todd's campaign.
Yes.
And it took a long time for it to become public. Do you think that the citizens of DC are being well served by the Office of Campaign Finance taking so long to make an audit like that public? Do you think there should be any benchmarks for them to clear things up more quickly?
I don't really know the timeline for when the Office of Campaign Finance issued a report or audit, but I would say that it is our expectation, certainly, that they're timely in any reviews that they have.
On another topic, there's been a lot of stories written about the provisions on backyard chickens in your budget.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about your intention with that provision?
Well, the provision is that we keep neighborhoods safe and clean and rodent-free. And so this is a city, and it's not usually the chickens that are the problem, but what they leave behind. And so that's what we're going to focus on. That's good, right? Rodent-free DC. All right, let's look at some alleys. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
We're good.